you lament, you're going to be leaving politics, do you lament the Republican Party's stand on immigration reform, on an unwillingness to come together to find some path to citizenship for those illegal immigrants here to somehow fix some of these problems?
To say this is a Republican problem is just completely wrong.
It's a Republican political problem for sure in elective politics, is it not?
All right, folks, welcome to Gimme 5. David Gregory on Meet the Press with outgoing Congressman Mike Rogers. Republican problem. Do you lament the fact the Republicans won't do this, the Republicans won't do that? It's all the fault of the Republicans in mainstream media world. And to his credit, Mike Rogers did fire back. Interesting. We go from that to CNN and Don Lemon. Seems I've been doing a lot of Don Lemon lately here. And he's interviewing comedian Paul Rodriguez, who's a Mexican-American. And I don't think that Don Lemon got the answers that he expected when he broached the border problem with Paul Rodriguez. Watch.
Paul, let me start with you. You know, we're a nation of immigrants. Look out there tonight at the Statue of Liberty. We have compassion for children. Why are we so divided in this country as to what to do about this problem?
All right, well, first of all, here, you'll get the answer in a second. First of all, we're not a nation of immigrants. I don't know what that means. I'm not an immigrant. My son's not an immigrant. Don Lemon's not an immigrant. What does that mean, we're a nation of immigrants? Could someone explain what that means? And to the extent that we were, you know, immigrants built this country, yeah, legal immigrants built this country. We have borders. Every country has borders. You know what Mexico does to people who cross their border on their southern border? You don't want to know. Now, Paul Rodriguez responds.
I don't think we are divided. I think America is hard in the right place. We need to be compassionate. We need to be strong and enforce our laws. It is precisely why we should make it clear in these countries that regardless of the trauma that they're obviously going through, but name me a Latin American country that doesn't have poor people, we have to set laws. We have to invest and let them know that it isn't the land of milk and honey, that life isn't easy here. You know, my heart goes out to the parents that have to traumatize their kids to go through Mexico. They must go through terrible abuse. But at the same time, if we accept these children and we don't repatriate them, it's only going to send out a clear signal to everyone in Latin America that if you get to America, you will stay here. And then if you think those numbers are big now.
Wow. Not what I would have expected from Paul Rodriguez. I've heard his politics in the past, and I guess Don Lemon has heard his politics in the past, and Don Lemon was caught by surprise, caught off guard. Watch.
People may be surprised to hear that coming from someone who is an immigrant.
Absolutely. But, you know, there are ways to come to this country. You know, there are ways, there are legal ways. Look, once they're here, I'm not saying to be cruel to them or anything like that. But if we accept, let's say we accept these children, we let them to stay here in America, we give them good homes, what is this going to say to everybody else? Are we prepared to be overwhelmed? Because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Wow. Now, again, folks, what Paul Rodriguez is expressing here is what most Americans feel, what most Americans believe, even very, very compassionate Americans, even Mexican Americans to an extent, like Paul Rodriguez, a liberal Mexican American, who said, you can't just let every kid who wants to come to this country come to this country. I mean, there are other regions besides Central America where things aren't so good now in the world, in case you haven't noticed. Once you let these kids stay, what do you think's going to happen, he says. But they don't like that on CNN. They don't like that on NBC or ABC or MSNBC more.
Let us say we allow these 7,000 children to stay here and grow up American and go to our schools. What do we say to the 60,000 that are going to follow them? Right. And the 150,000 that will follow? Can we house them all, Father? Do we have the whereabouts? We can't even take care of our own kids here now.
And you're hearing more and more of this from the minority community in the United States. I am presenting this to you every single day. African Americans, Mexican Americans saying, wait a minute, what about us? What about our kids? What about the people who are here now? Who need housing? Who need education? Who need better health care? What's going to happen if you overrun the system and open up the door? On the Steve Mazlberg Show.